what I can say is that I'm up here in Reno. I am testing the waters to see my viability as a candidate for the United States Senate. I have been up in Reno at least once a week for the last several weeks. And as my role as chairman of the Republican Party, of course, I was up here a lot. But now I'm looking at it in a whole different light. I'm talking to grassroots folks and elected officials and possible donors and just people, Renoites, to see if I would be viable as a candidate to run for the Senate.
And you have given up that chairmanship. You resign at the end of this month. That shows some seriousness.
I am very serious about it, and I did step down effective September the 30th, my position as chairman of the party, so I could really devote more full time to evaluating this important, very important decision.
You're potentially challenging Harry Reid, who is perhaps the third most powerful person in the country politically. Why do you think that somebody has a chance to beat him?
Well, what I know is, as someone who's been out there for a couple of years now recruiting candidates, is that if you don't have people who are willing to step up, who have been involved in the community, who have run businesses, who have raised their children here, if you don't have regular folks from Nevada willing to step up, then you're in trouble. And I think that this is the time right now for people to step up, not just for that race, but for so many of the races with the Assembly and the Senate, so many of them being termed out. We have a golden opportunity for regular folks from throughout Nevada to step up like they've never stepped up before, and I'd like to be in that category. I haven't been in the political arena or in a ballot ever statewide. I've never done that. But I think, and I've watched very closely other races, and I believe that the climate is right for people to see that someone who has never been in politics or hasn't been in politics as far as a career, that they lend a certain credibility that perhaps people who've been there forever do not have that credibility. And I think it's time for me to take it seriously, to take a look at stepping up.
Forgive me, but are you normal? You're a TV anchor woman married to a rich casino mogul, and you've run the state GOP party.
Well, I'm probably not normal for running the state GOP party, that's for sure, because that's the hardest job I've ever had to take on. I don't know if you would consider me normal or not. I've certainly had a presence here in Nevada. I've been very active in our community, from everything from being a room mom to a casino executive. I am a gaming licensee. There's no doubt about that. But all of that, I think, is part and parcel of who I am, and part and parcel of what gives me the credibility to say that I'm in touch with what Nevada folks are thinking, and that I think I'd be a terrific representative of Nevada in Washington.
I know that the polls show that Harry Reid is very low in favorability at home, but that's not the first time it's happened. And he has shown that he does know how to raise money and how to win elections. Do you think he's beatable?
I think anybody's beatable. There's no one who can't be beat. And I do know that this would be a David and Goliath scenario. There's no doubt about that. When someone says that they have $25 million, they probably have $25 million, and that's formidable. There's no question about that. So can he be beat? I think anybody can be beat. This is what I know. If you don't have someone out there who's credible and who's willing to campaign to show the differences of the two people, then if you don't have that, then he will win for sure. But our goal is to find someone, of course, who's going to be a contrast. And I think that should I get into the race, that I would be that contrast.
And how would you portray that contrast? What does Harry Reid represent? What do you represent?
Well, I think what Harry Reid represents right now is liberal Washington, tax and spend. I think he's lost touch with how we really feel here in Nevada. I do think we're a center-right state, even though most recently our state has turned more Democrat in terms of registration. I still think that we are center-right, and I think he's lost touch with the real core values of what we believe here in Nevada.
If you do make the run for Senate, you also face Senator Mark Amadei, who is from northern Nevada. Does that put you at a disadvantage?
Well, I don't see it as a disadvantage. I think Mark Amadei and the others in the race, others who I know are terrific candidates and certainly deserve to be in the race. Anybody can run. I've been encouraging people for 3 years to step up and run. I think that having a primary is a good thing. It gives us the opportunity to talk about issues, to talk to Nevadans throughout the state, for everybody to get to know us. I think it'll increase all of our visibility. Like I said, I've never been on a statewide ballot, and I haven't been on any ballot since '96. I was a state senator in Clark in the '90s, but I haven't been on a ballot in a long time. So I take this as a good opportunity for people to get to know me and for me to get to know all of Nevada. So I don't see that as a negative.
Now, I've heard it characterized that at this point it's a beauty pageant, and it's largely between you and Amadei. And as far as the GOP funding, at least from the federal level goes, people are going to be watching you to see who does better across the state. And you may have a little bit of an inside track, having been our state chairman.
Maybe. I don't know about that. Being state chairman, I've had to make some tough decisions, and it hasn't been all something that everybody likes. So I'm not sure if that's an advantage. I think that Republicans throughout Nevada are really going to look closely at the choices, and thank goodness that they have choices. A year ago, we would never have believed that we'd be in this position today to have so many people who have stepped up to say that they have the courage to do this, and it does take a lot of courage to be on a ballot and to take the time and the energy and the effort to become a candidate. I applaud everybody who wants to do that. And I think for Nevadans, it's a wonderful opportunity for Republicans right away in the primary to take a look at all of us and to assess where we are on the issues and who would be the most viable candidate, who would be the better candidate against Harry Reid. And it's a great opportunity for Republicans to make that decision.
Now, let me ask you to change hats for a moment. Speaking as the GOP chairwoman for the state, the state Republican Party seems to have been largely in disarray for some time now. And this, if you go back 20 years, it's a direct role reversal. You used to make fun of the Democrats. They weren't organized. The Republicans would always vote for their man. Now it almost seems the reverse is true. Do you think the Republicans stand any realistic chance in the coming election of gaining new seats in the legislature?
Well, we took it on the chin. I took it on the chin in November. There's no question about that there was no one who was sadder than me at the day after Election Day to see so many of our losses. But you know what? You take a deep breath and you regroup and you go forward. And what it's done, I think, this past year, it's galvanized Republicans and made them realize that grassroots-wise, that everybody has to participate. And I think I've seen that more than I've ever seen before, how much energy the grassroots has out there because of what's happening to our country. It's been disheartening for us to see all the taxing and the spending and the bailouts, and now perhaps the takeover of our health care, and who knows what is on the horizon. And I think it's galvanized those who are conservatives and Republicans, and frankly independents and libertarians and independent Americans to take a look, and conservative Democrats as well, to take a look at what's happening to our country. So I feel really good about our party and about where we're going forward here, and there's no question we did take it on the chin in November, but that was then, and we're going forward now.
What about the Republican purity issue? You're a Reno. You voted for a tax increase. There's so much infighting among Republicans right now. Is it realistic for for the party to get organized behind someone after the primary?
Well, we'll see. You know, I don't have the perfect answer for that, but certainly I've been one of those Republicans who have suggested that we have a bigger tent. If we're so small that we can only have one type of Republican, then we're not going to grow as a party. I think it's healthy that we accept the fact that there are all kinds of Republicans out there, and that if our core values are that we want less government in our lives, less government intrusion, we want less taxes, more freedoms. We're proponents of business. It's only business that gives jobs to people. And I think that we have some core values that we all agree on. And in the end, hopefully, we will, you know, wrap our arms around one candidate and support that candidate, even though they might not be 100% exactly the perfect candidate for that person. We have no choice. We have to support our Republican candidates.